Hello, everybody in internet world, and welcome to a Silver Sunday on this July. Let me see if I can get to my calendar first. July. Oh, that's not July anymore. It's
No, not.
It's
August
It's literally the first of
1st.
August, yeah.
Wow. And so, welcome everyone. We have just been running our mouths here, talking about Kickstarter, watching the numbers and talking about the last few minutes of our Kickstarter. So we're going let me go ahead and let's get us around and make some introductions, and we'll just continue our conversation here before we jump in. We've got 84 minutes left. I am Roland Man. I am your host for tonight, and I am kind of the chief wrangler at Silverline Comics. Where's my white window? Wrong window is open. So who's up next here? John, tell everybody who you are.
I am John Martin. I am an inker on Friar Rush and Wolf Hunter for Silverline, as well as I've done some sketch card art for Dynamite and Upper Deck Marvel, and I've even done some cover work here for Silverline, and also I did a cover for Brian Silverback's book for Kickstarter. So yeah,
Nice.
do art.
Very cool. Aaron, tell people who you are.
I am Aaron Humphreys. I am the penciler on The Obsoletes, which is a new series coming out. You can say the title just to get you kind of whet your appetite. And then I am the penciler on Fire Rush, which is coming to near its conclusion. And then I do my own comic Goblins, which I am also finishing up. So, a lot going on.
Excellent. Always good to stay busy, right? Pete, tell folks who you are.
Hi, I'm Pete. I am a penciler. I'm just a penciler. I'm the penciler on the Silverline Team Up Champion of Miss Fury, which is currently on Kickstarter and has some minutes left. 20 minutes? I don't know. Yeah, that's it. That's me. I'm going to any more details.
Yep.
Kickstarter's still going, so get on there.
82 minutes. Roby,
82?
tell people.
Hello.
82, yeah. Tell people who you are.
Minutes.
I'm Ruby Conroy. I am the current colorist for Cat and Mouse and of the just released Silverline Team Up Champion of Miss Fury. We finished our Kickstarter in what would we say?
82, probably 81 minutes now.
81 minutes to go. So
that's right.
You can still get your commissions if you try. And that's about it for now.
All right. Tommy, tell people who you are.
Thomas Flormonte Jr. Been doing comics for quite a few years, early 90s, and I am also working as I'm the inker on the Team Up book with both Pete, Roland, and Roberta.
Mm-hmm.
And so you guys still have time to get over there. We got probably 80 minutes now. We've wasted another minute. You guys need to get on over there and get it. There's still a whole bunch of good stuff to get there, but I'm also working on a bunch of other Silverline books. I got the Rejects book I'm working on, and then Dean Zachary's book, the Silverblade book, and Trump's number 4. Going to be working on that with Pete. We're going to get to that shortly, and then we'll get back on the Team Up book again. And then I'm also the co-owner of Kablam Digital Printing, and then I got my own personal projects that I work on with the Kid Hero books and all that kind of good stuff.
Excellent.
Yep.
That's the cool thing. Hang on, let me put a link here. That is the cool thing about everyone here. Everyone is busy. Everyone is busy making comics, and that's one of the things that you heard me say anything. If Silverline has any kind of philosophy at all, it's about having fun. And as you can see, everyone here stays busy making comics because we love to do it. We love making them. Mm-hmm. Certainly, there are a lot of things that we could choose to make more money, and we would go out and do that if it was all about the money. but we love making comics, and so that's what keeps us coming back.
Wait, this is supposed to be fun? Oh man, I'm sorry. My bad.
So we were talking just before we went live. We were talking about our Kickstarter, and apparently there are a bunch of other Kickstarters going on as well. Did I hear you say Polito's got one going on, or
No, Polito's got one coming in a few days.
Yeah, his are always a lot of fun to watch at launch. If you've never watched a Polito Kickstarter
launch party.
He has a launch party. They have a video. They do a live thing. And I'm kidding you not. I remember the first time I ever saw one live. I actually took a screen recording of it because I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The numbers, right? If you go on the Kickstarter and you look, right, it's going to have the numbers up there. Then it's going to have the number of backers and the time that it has to go. The numbers, the dollar amount, literally is like a little ticker, and that thing just starts spinning. At launch, it literally just starts spinning as it just
stops.
Well, I sat and watched it for about 20 minutes, and it did not stop while I was watching. It went from 0 to about 200,000 pretty quick. Or not 200,000. I'm sorry. He went probably. Because 200,000 was about what he got that one, 250, I think. I don't know. It went to about 50 or 60,000. I can't remember, but it was really, it was really, really fast. And it was really interesting just to watch those numbers just kind of tick, 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 just keep spinning.
Marat's Pray for the Center issue that
came Marat Michaels.
You're right. He had a Kickstarter for it, and it was funded almost instantaneous.
Wow. Now, was that his Do You Poo stuff?
No, that was his Pray for the Center.
Oh, okay. Oh, good for him.
3 or 4.
Nice. Cool.
And then Bill McKay had one Pure Intent.
Cool.
Did he do the interior or just the covers?
I think he did the covers. I'm not sure. And then there was another one that's called Eliu's Vision. I can't remember. I know there was a bunch of people that did covers for it. It was running Kickstarter, and I know Billy Tucci had an omnibus on Kickstarter.
Oh, really?
Of She? Of all the She stuff?
Yeah, the She omnibus on Kickstarter.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's a bunch of them out there. Hey, Brett, I think Tommy is yeah, there we go. Tommy's sharing his screen if you want to put him up there as well. Did I leave? No, I'm here. Sorry. We're back on Discord
because he's trying to figure out Discord.
Well, we're back on Discord here. So shout out to New Armor Media. They've had, I'm not going to give his personal business. I don't think he would care, but that'll be up to him. They've had some family health crisis. And so Carlos is not here with us tonight, and we pulled out the old guard, and Brett is producing us tonight, and we're back on Discord. So we're kind of like, how do we do this again?
How did this work? Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so we ask you to bear with us a little bit as we kind of get all these the things going again. So behind the scenes is my son Brett, who is making sure all the stuff works. Before we get too deep into it, remember that we have Daytona Beach Comic Con is our sponsor. Daytona Beach Comic Con coming up September 18th and 19th. There's going to be about 10 different Silverline folks there. I figured it out the other day. This is going to be the largest collection of Silverline creators ever gathered in one place. I'm going to add this. To date, I'm not going to say it's not. We're going to have to. Our goal is going to be to beat it, right? But coming up September 18th, 19th, Daytona Beach Comic Con, Silverline will be there. There will be more Silverline creators there gathered under one roof than has ever been before. So looking forward to that. Make your plans to go. Daytona Beach Comic Con is a fantastic comic convention. I heard someone talking about maybe this morning when Tommy and I were on the stream this morning with IndieVolt. They were talking about collectible shows and stores and stuff. Daytona Beach Comic Con is a comic convention. So if you like comic books, this is one of the ones that you should go to. So make your plans now. So our Kickstarter stands at 45, 122 backers, 74 minutes to go. We have knocked out 2 of our stretch goals. We had the first stretch goal was Haley Martin's The Heroic Shenanigans digital at 4250. Thomas Flormonti's Zomboy number 0 was gotten for everyone at 4,500.
Yeah, we're doing that for everybody, right? It's not just any particular thing. Yeah,
it's for all the reward tiers. So we have to say that because there are some that pledge no reward, and they just pledge no reward. So they don't. Obviously, they get no rewards. So it's for all of those who pledge for a reward. But it doesn't matter. The main thing, and what I think you were getting at, Tommy, is it's not just for the physical backers. It's for
right. That's what I was
it's for those who pledge for the digital rewards too. And so yes, these are for everybody. All the reward tiers, and then at 4750, which is just, I can't do the math, but at 4750, which we are within a spit's width of. We get everyone gets a PDF of The Mannequin, which is written by me. It's actually an adaptation of a short film made by some guys that I knew in Florence, Alabama when I was there. Penciled by Chris Shea, inked by Chuck Bordell, colored by Taco Silvera. And that will be in a PDF as well. So at 4750, which we are, let's see, 45, 47. So we're about 200 away from that. So I think that's probably something we're going to get for the next 72 minutes finish. So so Tommy, can I bring up what you're talking about? What you were talking about? Kickstarter here.
What was I talking about?
About your little Nay and so.
Sure.
Okay.
I don't know what we were talking about.
Oh well, all right. Well, I'll just I'll bring it up, and if you don't want to talk about it, then
No.
we'll stop. So so Tommy was talking about he's got a comic that's been out a little bit. Now you all heard me mention Zomboy, and Tommy knows this. I'm a Zomboy fan. But he's got another book out that he calls Little Man So-So, something that he's done. And he was talking about collecting those into a trade and putting them on Kickstarter. And of course, he.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yes, go for it. Yep.
Yeah. So one of the things that he was talking about is it's like, hey, what do we ask for it? And so one of the things we were discussing, and I don't know that there's a right or a wrong, but one of the things we were discussing here is, what do you ask for something like that? Now I'm bringing this up because that's one of the plans that we've got here for Silverline as well, is that once we finish a series, that we can collect it into a trade and do a Kickstarter for the trade as well. The work will be done. Right, we're just offering it in a new format. So there are Kickstarters out there that ask a lot of money, and there are Kickstarters out there that don't ask very much money. What's the difference between them? What's the difference between a Kickstarter that asks $10,000 and then the one that asks $500? What do you guys think? What's the difference? And is there an appeal difference?
It seems like I don't know. This could be psychology. I've wondered if it's a psychology of two things. One, If you ask for more money, is it worth more? If you ask for less money, is it a lower quality product? Not saying it is, but the perception that if you ask for less, they didn't put a lot of effort into it. And the other thing I know some people, as dumb as it is, we've talked about this before, Roland, how if you put like the price up to like maybe 5,000 or 6,000, people think, oh, they'll never reach that. And so they don't bid, not realizing if they do bid, you will help them reach it. So it's completely backwards in their head. It's really bizarre. So they'll watch them and see if other people jumping on the bandwagon, and everyone thinks the same thing and nothing works. It's like a psychological trick, as weird as it is.
Yeah. Anybody else? Thoughts?
I have issues trying to figure out what I should charge for commissions, so I'm going to use this here.
My thought was to go ahead and just do the Little Nan So-So trade at whatever it turns out. But I thought I'd just do it, it's the book is done. It's been done for a little while. It hadn't been in lots of people's hands, but this will be another way to get it out there. But I want to experience getting something on Kickstarter myself. And I think that it might be just a good experiment to see if it works. So, do you think that that's silly to say, $500 and then, and be,
You know what? I think it's a good price to throw out there.
Well, and I do too. I agree with Roby. I think my kind of thinking is this: is that when you put something out there at $500, you're telling basically I think you're not sending the message, not of a value kind of thing as kind of Aaron was mentioning, but I think you're tossing out there to say, hey, I am committed to this. I'm going to get this done. I'm going to get this out there. The work is done. And I'm setting this low because I want to make sure that we make and get this in your hands. And I for me, I think it sends that kind of message that says, hey, I'm going to set this low so that we make and that we can get this out there.
And I can see that. Do you guys even think money, when you look at Kickstarters, their target goal, does that really even factor into whether you pledge or not? Or is it more just a product?
For me, it doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't for me either.
I'd like
so, I mean, this could be
to say
something that I've just seen is not real. So, I mean, I wonder if that. So
go ahead, Roby.
Well, I was saying I'd like to say it doesn't factor in, but you do see the numbers when you log on to the page. So there's got to be, you wonder if there is some kind of irrelevant, impact it has. I don't consciously have any, and if I like the project, I like the project. Although I think what does make an impact is if they're almost over. I do try a little harder when I see that they're, almost out the door. And
yeah.
I think that means something,
Like,
sure
are
don't
you
forget,
trying to
because
say?
I would forget about a lot of it. It's like, oh, that's cool, but I'm not ready to, spend 5 minutes more online. I'll come back to it, but sometimes, you really do have a timestamp there. You got to worry about.
I think those ones that have the big numbers, when I see that, I just assume they have the fan base to generate that money.
Yeah. And I also think some of them have some
500. I assume they've got small, or they don't have a fan base. They've got a very small fan base. So I think, well, I'll get the 500. But those that need $50,000 or more,
that's a lot.
They're either dealing with big characters. They're a much larger company. You see big companies now straying into Kickstarter.
Yeah, there's some debate on that, isn't there?
I think the only time I've seen anything like with a really high Kickstarter was like 12K.
Okay, 12,000. Yeah. I mean, I've heard of like intense ones. I mean, talking about a goal, like a target goal.
Yeah, the goal.
Oh, the goal.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. I've seen a few that have done that.
Now, we're only referring to the comic book Kickstarters, right?
Right. Yeah, of course.
Yep.
I wonder sometimes too, Tommy, with yours, if you a lot of, and I'd be curious to know if this factors in. A lot of Kickstarters, if you get the physical issue of a comic, it's like 15, $20. But at yours, you could target at like $5 a copy and quickly reach your goal. Because I understand a lot of them would like to do $15, $20 per book because it helps reach that bigger goal faster. But if you knock the goal down, you can knock the comic down to your basic sort of newsstand, like basic price. I wonder if that would actually get more people to actually buy it. Does that ever stop you guys from buying a comic that when it's like $15? Like, yeah, it's just a comic. But if it was $5, would you be more apt to like, yeah, sure, that's no problem.
I have gone a couple of times where I saw some Kickstarter stuff, and I was like, this is really expensive because I know that this is going to be at a con that this is before the plague hit,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm like, I know I'm going to be able to just go by his table and pick up this $20 comic for $5. When I
Yeah.
go by his table, it's like sometimes you look at those numbers and you go, this is a 16-page comic and you're selling it for $20. What's the well, what is, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I think that's why the exclusive idea is important as well. You offer your backers
Yeah, that's
something,
true.
something exclusive. Is like, look, yes, I'm asking more than you're going to end up paying for this when you see me at a convention, but this Kickstarter exclusive version is not going to be available. You can still get the book, right? But this Kickstarter exclusive version is only available through the Kickstarter. So, like for ours, if you want this, if you want these, the Dean Zachary covers, then you gotta, you gotta pledge to the Kickstarter because those covers are
Yeah,
not going to be available, outside of the Kickstarter. Now the books are still going to be available. That would be silly for us not to make the books available after having put all the work into it. But the Dean Zachary Kickstarter exclusive covers will not be available outside of the Kickstarter. So I think that's important because there's still a lot of collectors out there who like to know that, hey, we got 124 backers. I don't know how many of those are physical and how many of those are digital, but
we just went up again.
Yep. Let's
26.
let's just make numbers up. Okay, so let's just say that there are 75 of those are physical, and then the other 50 is probably more physical than that. But let's just say 75 are physical and 50 are digital. That means 75 backers have the Kickstarter exclusive version, and that's it. Now, excuse me. Obviously, the creators get they get their copies. They're going to get a couple of copies of those. But that just means that there aren't very many copies of that Kickstarter exclusive cover. So, I think that's for me when you're talking about price point, per unit. That's what I take into consideration. Now, you someone, I forget who it was now, but somebody said something about the price. I would tell you this: the only time the price ever, the overall goal ever causes me to stop some is if they want a large amount and none of the work is done. If they're like, hey, we're trying to raise $30,000 and we're going to spend the next year making this comic, then that's when I go, yeah, I don't know that you're ever going to make this comic. So
yeah, my chances of getting that comic is pretty low. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
sometimes. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just going to say that's when it gives me a pause.
Because sometimes I see people who are making a comic, but I wonder if I've noticed. I wonder if people will do a lower pledge goal if the comic is already made, because they don't have to pay artists or colorists or something, that they've already paid them or something. I don't know. I mean, there are lower pledge goals just for the publication of the book and not to pay other people.
Yeah. So you're saying you think there's some folks out there
maybe the reason that they're able to knock down the lower prices because they're not having to pay. Because I know sometimes higher prices we're trying to pay certain people, and that completely makes sense. And I usually don't mind that, but I am like you. When I see something that has like 2 pages, I'm gonna make it. I'm like, no, just let me know when it's done.
Yeah. All right.
So,
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and you know, I think Pete and I were talking about this the other day on a stream, and you know, I don't mind giving for Kickstarter. I don't mind giving more than uh, what we kind of perceive the value of a comic book is on a Kickstarter, because I know that some of that money is going to the creators. You know, Tommy's talking about a $5 book. I don't mind giving $20 for a $5 book when I know that, okay, this is going to help the writer, the penciler, the inker, the colorist. You know, some of this is going to them as well. I kind of like the idea that, okay, if I'm going to do this, you're going to give me this exclusive cover that no one else can get. I like that. You know, I'm still collector enough that I like that. But I don't mind giving a little bit more on a Kickstarter. Because
it's not
because
that.
of
Yeah,
that.
giving more. I totally would give more. I just like for me, I've done like my Goblins. I've done everything, so I could actually lower the goal price because all I really need money for is the actual publication or possibly
Yeah.
print and demand books and plan. So that's what I'm saying. There's nothing
Yeah.
compensated into the goal factors of just getting it out there. But other people who do not have the idea that, you know, the situation I have where they've made everything do have to pay other people, which I
Yeah.
don't mind. But I just, you know, sometimes that could affect the goal price too.
Yeah. Yeah, got a handful of comments here. Let me jump to some of those. Stephen Brown says hi over on YouTube. What's up, Stephen Brown? My father-in-law says, "Yep." Son-in-law, Roland Man, the big dummy. What's up, Screw Loose? Nate over on from Everyone Has a Story. Hey, Nate. Comment on Twitch under the Simpleton review. Says, I just donated to the Kickstarter. Looking forward to the new double feature. Thank you so much, Nate. I had a good chat with Nate. You guys might have seen us social media that up a little bit. I'm going to try to line some of you guys up with Nate here in the future as well. He's a lot of fun to talk to. So thank you, Nate. I my fingers crossed. I don't think you're going to be disappointed in the comics. I think you're going to like them. Stephen Brown says, when my comic is done and I put it out for crowdfunding, I don't really know how much I should ask. I intend to sell a copy for $5 though. Okay, so this is kind of some of what we're talking about. You guys, anybody want to chime in kind of on what your thoughts are?
I've heard people like when they like I've seen people who will break down the actual cost it'll take to do the book. One guy was doing, I think, a book about how to do art, and he was showing on it how he broke down so much it would cost, the covers, the work, whatever, and then would bring up a specific number for that. I don't know how much is it still frowned upon to say I need 4,000 to actually cover all the initial costs of the book and add another 500 for like profit. Is it still frowned upon to make profit off Kickstarter, or is it supposed to be just to cover the initial costs? Like, is Kickstarter only to break even?
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know. I've always wondered that if people look down upon that, they find that out.
No,
Yeah.
it's still okay to make a profit on Kickstarter because I see several people that do it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And obviously, you know, we're not hiding anything. We want to try to make money. You know, from what we're doing.
Profit pays bills.
Yeah. Well, and you know, we talk about how much we love this, and we do, but you know, getting some of that money helps the love, right? As Pete says, Mama wants new shoes. You know, so yeah, it helps. It helps to keep going. So
It helps buy supplies to make more books with love.
that's right. Yeah.
They want money for the supplies, not love.
That's right. So Steven says, I intend to sell a copy for $5. So one of the things I think you have to consider, Steven, is that if you're going to sell the book for $5, if you're going to Kickstarter, you're also going to have to ship it. So you're looking at, you know, $5-6 there just for shipping, and that's only US. So if you start shipping,
I thought it would be more like $8. It's like $8 shipping.
Well, it depends. If you just ship one single book and nothing else, help me out here, Tommy. And that right?
Yeah.
It's about $5 or $6.
If you got to factor, especially if you ship it in the Geminis and all that
Yep,
kind of
you
stuff. So
gotta.
you're figuring you got to bag it and probably board it maybe, but bag it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, $5-6 is generally what yeah. Yeah, you're it's pretty
Yeah.
close. Yeah.
Yeah, that's skirting the. I'm just paying for my supplies and the postage cost. That's not making really any profit on the postage. So you're looking at $10 there. I don't know how many. I don't know that I've seen very many Kickstarters that are $5 books that are $10. Most of them are about $20. And so you're looking at the creator making some money. And so Stephen, obviously you do what you want on yours. But if you've got a $5 book and you're looking at $5 postage, that's $10. You are well within your Kickstarter bounds, I think, to ask $15, $20. And you're going to be right along the lines with I think kind of everybody else. Fruitbat 36 says, maybe I go jump on the bandwagon. If you're talking about the Kickstarter, there's no maybe to it. You need to go get your copy. Go do it, Fruitbat.
Right now.
Thank you.
Yeah, because
Yes,
you have exactly how many minutes? Let's jump over there and look.
I'm leaving.
53 minutes.
That's right. I got it up on my screen. We're at exactly 4,600 and 124 backers. 53 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Are you shipping books to Canada? You know what? I will. We will, because I know you live in Canada. We will pledge for the American, and we will calculate. Here's what we can do. Okay, pledge for the American shipping, and then what we can do is you can send me your address, and we will calculate the postage to your address, and you could just PayPal me the additional postage. And we can get you some books. So what I might suggest, Fruitbat, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but what I might suggest is if you're going to be shipping books to Canada anyway, you might go ahead and look down that backstock list of other Silverline books that you might not have, and we can add it, because tossing in a couple of books is going to be a whole lot cheaper just to add to a package you've already got going than to ship a whole nother package.
Can I recommend Friar Rush for that package?
There you go.
I've heard that's a pretty good book.
Yeah, I heard it's a pretty good book. It's got some pretty awesome fighting scenes up in it.
Scott Wakefield says, "Hey gang, we made it to the Pacific Ocean and now we head east." He says, "Congrats on the campaign. I'll be back on Wednesday Wham soon if the crew will allow me."
Nope.
I heard them say the other day, "Who's Scott Wakefield?"
I wanted to tell. This is not super off topic, but I thought I'd be rolling and get a kick out of this. So I live in Portland, Oregon, outside of Portland, Oregon. We have a local one of these bookstores called Powell's Books, which is one of the biggest. And I actually found this.
Whoa! Look at you!
Powell's Books. Isn't that a trip? It's like a few bucks, and I'm sitting there going like, "Oh, nice. I didn't find any of the other ones, just this one."
That was wearing and tearing.
Yeah.
So
that's issues 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Yeah, I've been having fun reading them.
You're gonna be at the Tampa show, or not the Tampa show, the Daytona show. Bring it and have them sign it for you.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Very cool.
I was like, who's this Roland Man guy? I never heard of him.
Yeah, who is that guy? Yeah, very cool.
No,
yeah, it's funny. After they did that one, man, I because my favorite, I make no bones to tell people, my favorite 4 issues from that first run are issues 9, 10, 11, and 12. And
right after this,
the ones that come right after that, and after they published that one, I begged and begged and begged. I said, "Come on, guys, you got to do one more trade." I said, because the first trade covers issues 1 through 4. The next trade 5 through 8. I said, you got to do one that gets 9 through 12, and they never did it. But Aaron, you may have heard me talking. I'm actually working on an omnibus. So
Oh, really?
yep. I'm hoping. Got my fingers crossed. I'm hoping to make that available when we kickstart the next Cat and Mouse issue to backers. It will contain all 18 of the published issues, which is actually 19 issues long. Our Malibu first issue was a 2-issue double-sized special, so it's actually 19 issues long. And so we're talking about a lot of pages here, but I've been talking with Tommy and Barry over at Kablam, and they're like, "Yeah, we can do it. We'll make it happen." So
cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it because like I said, I generally figured out most of what's going on, but of course, there's questions when in the middle of a story.
yes.
Yeah, I like some of the characters. I like these was it Tooth and Nail or Nail and
Tooth and Nail.
Those are pretty cool. Yeah, I like those characters.
Yeah, those the bad guys for that story, and their story comes to a conclusion. Okay, sorry about that. We had technical difficulties here. Brett got kicked out of Discord, so
he was bad. He was bad.
We apologize for that very, very brief technical difficulties there. Let's see here. Where were we here?
Mitch Faust's comic.
Oh yeah.
The last old fantasy book. Yeah.
I can't remember if it's the Last Generation or the Lost Generation.
It's one of those. I have all 5 issues.
Yeah, it's really, really cool.
And I was like, hey, remember when you told me you did a book? I found them.
Yeah. So, John, you want to hear something funny? I bought those off the stands, dude. I sure did. I bought those off the stands because I'm like, hey, these look cool. And then it wasn't until a handful of years later that I met Mitch, and he and I were talking, and I'm like, whoa, I know the book you did. I I got that book. And then his reaction to me was kind of like his to you is like, oh, sorry.
Don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
So I'd like to not completely date Roland, but this is something forward in the book. At the very end, you're like, well, Queen just came out with a new album, and I just heard the Hitman, so I think I need to go jam. I was like, I'm a Queen fan too, but I'm like, wow, 91, okay, yeah. What was happening back in the day?
Yeah. I tell people, I got my start in the late 80s, and they're like, yeah, really? But, Malibu was 90s, and I'm like, okay.
People treat you as
I'll have some pages with me for when I did that short story.
With Mitch?
Yeah.
Nice.
Down in Tampa. I mean, that's
cool.
Daytona.
Nice. Very cool. Yeah, that was in his one of his annual art books, wasn't it?
No, it was for 901 Comics.
Oh, okay, that's right. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I know I've got it. I know what you're talking about. So, yeah. So let's see. Let's get back here to some of the comments here. Nate says would love to talk to anyone. Very cool, Nate. We will work on that and get you set up with some other folks. Having some cool conversations. Like I said, he was fun to talk to. Hopefully, you guys go out and check out that conversation. Fruit Bat says, "Yeah, make the dollars, right? Yeah." let's see. Then he said, "Sounds good about shipping to Canada." Good, yeah. So if you need a rundown of all the books, let's see. The easiest way really is just to go to the campaign page, and if you'll scroll down to add-ons, keep going, you'll see the commissions, which you might as well get those while you're at it, since we're shipping up to Canada. And then you'll see the original art, and then you're going to see other Silverline comics. I'd love to tell you they're in alphabetical order, but they're not, because I just kind of shifted things around to make them look good and realized I probably should have made this in alphabetical order. But you'll see that there's this is what's available to you. The first 3 issues of Cat and Mouse, Divinity 1 and 2, Bloodline One Shot, Friar Rush 1 and 2, Kalis 1 and 2, Steam Patriots 1, Switchblade Remix 1, Teen Beetle 1, Trumps 1 and 2, Twilight Grim 1 and 2. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Guys, you realize that we made Silverline just in the last couple of years, 17 books.
That's great.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, it's this is why we're doing flip books, because we just keep making fun comics, and so we've got to get them out, and we've got to do flip books so that we can get them in your hands. Fruitbat said the technical glitch felt so official. Yeah. Yeah. Stephen Brown says, I was thinking of offering as an exclusive. I was thinking variants or adding a foil to the cover, which would probably be more. Yeah, absolutely. If you do something special on your cover, like the foil, which we have a very limited number of those. I should go see how many's left of those. We have a very limited number of those. And those do cost more, and it's because your paper and the process.
Yeah, the paper is expensive on those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you are going to but here's what I would say: if you're going to offer that as your main exclusive, then you're going to want to price that out before you decide, hey, my base Kickstarter is going to be 20, because you don't want it to be 20 if it costs you $18 a unit to print, because then you're not covering your cost. So if I had any kind of advice at all, I would say do make sure you price out all that you intend to do before you make your tiers, before you finalize your tiers on your campaign. Let me see if I can figure out how many. Let's go ahead and let's look to see about the commissions and the foil covers.
Yeah, because Pete and I had a competition going about who was going to have the.
You guys are both four commissions each. So
no, but he did all of his color ones. So he's actually two.
We don't count the color ones. Remember, that's what you guys said, or that's what I thought you said. So he's actually got he actually has a total of 6 if we're counting the color ones. Because he had the 2 colors, and then he had the 6 that he was offered in black and white, right? Yeah. So you've got 4 people have gotten a black and white commission. 4 people have gotten the Tommy commission. 2 have gotten
we got time. We got time. I can beat them. We got time.
Yep.
I'm gonna go and buy one just so I'll beat them.
Did Brett get kicked out again? Oh,
someone did.
Someone came on.
Oh,
what came on? Haley?
I don't know. I gotta get back to Discord
here.
Haley's here.
She was. What's she got now?
Yeah.
Hey,
Haley.
How's it going?
She came in and said, surprise!
Surprise! Yeah,
Surprise!
Into the Kickstarter.
Woohoo! Yeah, we were just
Haley, you see what the numbers are? You see what the numbers are? We're doing good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were just running down here on this list here, talking about commissions. So There are still Haley Martin commissions available. There are still Thomas Flormonti commissions available. There are still Peter Clinton commissions available. So the foil editions, 6 people have picked up the Silverline Team Up #1 foil edition covers. That means there are 4 of those left. Okay. And for those of you who are wondering, we're going to do 10 of these things. And so if these do not go here, you guys are getting the first chance at it. We will take these full editions to conventions with us to make, but that's all there's going to be. There's going to be a limited 1 to 10. So 6 people have gotten.
You like the old school Marvel DC
Mhm.
Yes.
chrome.
I'm very
covers
tempted to change my pledge.
Remember our holograms?
to get them. Make us want to do 20 next time.
Yeah. Yeah, let's see here. And then there's still a whole bunch of art left. Let's see. We've got the looks like it's going to be easier for me to tell you what's gone than what's gotten. So page 22 inks, Silverline Team Up is gone. The pencils for the Silverline Team Up Kickstarter cover is gone. The inks for the Silverline Team Up Kickstarter cover is gone. The inks for Silverline Team Up page 17 is gone. So so yeah.
I love 17.
Yeah.
Such a great shot.
So y'all, there are still looks like several.
17?
I think that's the
Fury.
first one with Miss Fury, isn't it?
That's Miss Fury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So guys, the inks, the double page spread is still available for the inks.
It still amazes me that nobody picked that up.
I know. And it looks like there's still. Are all the pencils still available? What is the deal here?
So I saw them at conventions for double
So
the
you
price.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. They can only get that deal for what? 15 hours?
Let's
No.
see here. Let me go back.
37 minutes to go, it says.
Yeah. 37 minutes to go. We are now 4630, 125 backers. Fruit Bat said he pledged. Thank you, Fruit Bat.
Thank you.
Was one of the pages because was one of the pages the whole Rob Liefeld homage?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah,
And
that
they're
was.
still are they still there?
Hold on. I gotta see which page that is.
I think the last page I think you marked the last page is sold too, I think.
Yeah. So although I didn't call it out, did I? I wonder if I will say this, y'all. It's so funny because on Steve Patriots and Divinity 2, we did not have a single backer back out of their pledge. We've had a handful back out of pledges this time.
I saw that they bounced around a little bit.
Yeah. So let me see if I can. I'm going to guess that that's actually what's happened here. Let me go to the dashboard and see if I can. I won't call any names. But let's see. We've had. Let me look for the adjustment button. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back out of the pledges.
Yeah, you can see who backed out, right? Okay.
Yeah, and it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 of them were all digital pledges. It looks like they pledged and then they changed their mind. One of them decreased their pledge, so this may be where that original page of art was, but they decreased their pledge. It's still a good pledge, so we are not going to complain about this.
Yeah.
But it looks like they lowered it by about $50. So I can't do the math that quickly. So that might have been where that page was. It was gone at one point in time. So this backer is still giving us a very nice backing. So they may have just changed. Something may have come up and they just may have said, hey, I can't get this page and that page or whatever.
I had my power bill to pay.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, so let me go back and see.
Yeah, we're $70 away from the next stretch goal.
Yeah, we stand a really good chance of making that third stretch goal. So let's see, that was page 22, wasn't it, Tommy?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's see if I can find. Oh no, it's still
Mhm.
gone. I just didn't call it out. Yep, it's still gone. So
So the pencils are still there.
yes, the pencils are still there.
So somebody can still get that.
Yes.
That little piece of 90s goodness.
Yes, absolutely. Let me see what
Which means not only
I
can
have-
you get that, but you can get us to the next stretch goal if you get it.
that's right.
Hey,
That's
Roland.
yes, ma'am.
Can I share my screen and show you something really quick?
Yeah, absolutely. Just I don't even think you don't even have to kick Tommy.
Don't do it. It's a trap.
I know.
Brett will just have to
Let's see how I do it.
rearrange. See, that's
See?
page.
Yeah.
Um,
There it is.
all right,
So how about a sticker? If you put a number on it.
if
I'll
we
make a
get
sticker.
to so we need to reach 5,000 for that. But I haven't priced stickers though. That's my only fear on something like this.
So
I
we'll
haven't
check it out.
I haven't priced stickers, so I don't know what that's going to eat into and what that's going to cost us.
Well, let's look into it and see. We've got 36 minutes to check it out.
Yeah, 33 minutes.
Well, it was a thought. So
it's a beautiful thought. It's funny because BJ and I were talking. You guys know what
anyone that gets a page.
Do you know? Do y'all know Sticker Mule by any chance?
Oh yeah.
Which one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sticker Mule. So so they run these specials pretty regular, and sometimes I'll look at them and I'll go, oh man, look at that, $9 for 30 stickers. And it's like you got to act within the next 24 hours kind of thing. And I'm like, oh, if only I had it all, because I can't do it because it's like, well, I'd have to come up with something. I don't have it already. And that's just too quickly. And so BJ and I were talking the other day. She's like, you should come up with the specs and see if you can't get some stuff created. And then when they run those specials, you've already got them. Right.
I want that sticker, Roland.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's like, so we do something like this. I grab that, I hold that sticker, and the next time I see Sticker Mule run a special, I jump on it and I've already got it ready. Yeah, that would be nice.
Well, sorry to surprise you there. I just wanted to.
No, it looks very good.
Idea. That's what I wanted. Thank you.
Yeah, my Kablam doesn't do stickers, and so
we don't do stickers.
So that's
we'd have to go outside of that.
Yeah,
cowboy operation are they running? They do stickers.
That's Tommy. That's on you.
Is that my next day job?
On you, Tommy.
Figure out
what? Get a sticker machine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that was done. And that, folks, is how business is done.
At home, dang it.
Yeah. Yeah. Phil Leon says, "Hello, Silverline peeps. What's up, Phil? How's it going?"
Hello.
Frubat said, "So many options and so few pennies." Yeah.
I know it. It's
this
terrible. I started buying and then I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the thing though. This is also the thing I'll say that we talked a little bit about this also about the add-ons. This is something that I know that there's still a little bit of issues, here and there, but as a whole, I really like the add-ons, and that Kickstarter has made this available, because it does mean that we can easily offer. Now, we could do it earlier, but it was just really hard to do. But now we can easily offer our backstock. 17 issues. We can include all of those as add-ons. And the cool thing about these add-ons is that you can say, hey, you want Cat and Mouse #1, but you also want to get 2 copies, because you're going to get one for yourself, and you're going to hand one to your best friend because you know that they would like it. You can do that. You can add two copies of the add-on there. So there's little things about it, because it's still pretty fresh as far as a function for Kickstarter, but I really like it a lot. I think it's brought a lot to Kickstarter. So anyway, so Haley,
Yes.
are you
Well,
back with us? Back from your trip?
Yes, I am.
Are you wore
I'm
out?
on sleep focus. Huh?
Are you wore out?
Yeah, I was like sleeping all day. But yeah, it was a good trip.
Well, perfect timing. You came back just in time to wrap up the campaign.
did you do what I asked you to with all of your those kids that you were watching? You were going to grab their cell phones and log into Kickstarter and make them order stuff. Did you do that? We talked about that. Remember?
Yeah, I figured bribery wasn't the best thing to do on a church trip,
No.
but
All right. Well,
Perfect.
all right. Well, you're probably right. But you know
Here
how
at
what you can
Silverline, we do not suggest doing anything that relates to identity theft. Just a PSA.
Yeah. Stephen Brown says someone also said I should sell on Amazon, but not sure about that. Anybody here have any of your work on Amazon? Aaron
sure don't.
Aaron, is Godlinks on Amazon?
No, I thought
No?
my kids' books are on there, but not my Goblins.
Did you put them on there?
What?
Did you put them on there, or did the publisher?
The company, Action
Okay.
Lab, put them on there. I've not put anything. I don't really. I think I would put Goblins on if it was a trade graphic novel.
Right.
I don't know how single issues do on Amazon, and I don't think the amount
Goes
of.
back to the shipping.
I think they charge you a little bit, so I think you'd actually be technically losing money in the process of putting a $5 item on there. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if the profit is worth it.
Yeah.
And I think most
They're
people go on
probably
the
want
web
it
books. If
cheaper
you can look
than-
at, pardon me.
I said they're probably going to want it cheaper going through there anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they would almost try to like push you to cosmicology.
Yeah. I don't know for the digital stuff.
Because they're owned by Amazon, yeah. Yeah, I
Right.
don't know. I've seen old comics, like, collector comics sold on Amazon, but I've not seen single issues of new series sold on Amazon. But then again, I could be wrong. Maybe they are. Like, I
Yeah.
don't think. So I don't know. I think if it's a graphic novel, yes. I think if it's a single issue, you'd have to look into it, but I don't know. I have not, because I just didn't think it was probably not going to be worth it. And also because Amazon's
Yeah.
so huge that even though if you put your books, unless you have like a ton of people reviewing it, it just gets lost in this huge pile of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. You're talking about reviews. It's funny. That's something I would love to see happen for more Silverline books, but I don't know how to push that or encourage that, or ask for that,
Yeah.
or really even where to do that. They can do it on Indie Planet, but
You
they
can,
have
I
to.
know,
They have to
somebody
be
told me,
a backer. I mean, they
yeah,
have to be a verified purchaser from Indie Planet. So it's not like they can get it from us and then go on Indie Planet and leave a review.
right. I know Goodreads is supposed to be big. Now, I don't know how Goodreads is with comic book series. I think they're okay. But I
Yeah.
know a lot of people, even on my kids' book, have done stuff. And I tried to get into Goodreads. I'm old and I forget. So I'm like, oh, and then like 2 weeks later, I'm like, oh, I have that Goodreads thing I totally forgot about because I get caught up in other stuff. But I know Goodreads has been pretty good about like getting the word out for books. Now comics, I'm not. I know those graphic novels on there that do well.
Yeah.
As far as comics, I don't know. But I mean, it's something I maybe look into. I know it's huge.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah, I've talked to, our pals Ron Fortier and Rob Davis. Rob Davis, who of course is the artist on Twilight Grimm. They run Airship 27, I think it is.
okay, yeah,
And they've got their books on Amazon. So I've talked to Rob Davis about that some, and he sent me a big old long, hey, here's what you're going to need to do. So I think kind of like you were saying about Godlings, I think that once we get to the point where we're able to collect them, collect the Silverline titles into trades, then that's something that we can look at for
yeah.
Amazon.
That's what it
Yeah,
seems to me.
yeah,
Uh,
I don't know that putting an individual comic on there is worth the time, energy, effort, and money. Because you still gotta ship it, and I don't know if
right.
they offer free shipping for a floppy. You know,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't, I don't know
That's
if
one
that's covered
that.
under Prime.
Yeah, I'm not. That's a good question. I don't know. Um, I guess my best bet, if you want to know the answer, is just type that question to Google. I'm sure there's people have talked about it.
Yeah,
Now I wonder. I don't know. That'd be so easy to look into. If you have a set, like if I sold all 12 issues of my Goblin as a set, just as a single issues, just not a graphic novel, single issues.
right.
That might be where. But then again, people would be like, well, then why are you not collecting in the books? I don't know. I don't know. It's a good
Yeah,
question. Like, yeah, they'd
yeah,
be like, why are you giving me
yeah.
these simple things?
Well,
Um,
it's funny you talk about sets. Back in the days of traditional printing, this is one of the things that publishers would do to move back stock. They would take a miniseries. I know Malibu did it frequently. Malibu would take their miniseries and they would say, after a 4-issue miniseries done, 4 or 5 months down the road, they would resolicit as a collection, not a bound collection, but hey, you can get all 4 issues of this, of this miniseries and order them, and that would be, they wouldn't get a whole lot of copies, but that was a way that they would move back stock.
Yeah, you had a
So,
warehouse of books because you had to print, so many of them. So you guys
yep,
had a bunch of stuff left sitting in
I
your
had to print like a
warehouse.
million books back then.
yeah.
yeah, and we've
Well,
talked before. There's a company out there that actual like combine like the issues into one
yeah, yeah.
EKM.
I thought
So
about
there's
that.
ways that maybe you can do stuff to make it like buy these issues, but it's bound with like comes with like a poster or a certain holding box, or there's something extra in it that if you get these as like a little set, do something like
Yeah,
that, I guess.
yeah. Yeah, I've seen some of those bound things, but I've thought about taking some of my stuff and doing that to them, having it bound, and then I could put it on my bookshelf. I've never done it.
Yeah.
I just had an idea with when we do trades, kind of give the added incentive because it's possible that the people probably would have bought the individual issues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Throw like I know for Friar Rush, I got several different things, like different pieces of pinup artwork I've done for different things.
Right.
That could be something that could be thrown in the back of it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I saw someone pointed out something to me the other day. Someone took and made an entire collection of sketch cover art. Um, you know, they basically, I guess, they scanned all of the sketch covers that they did. So, they ended up with like 40, 50, 60 sketch covers. And so they just scanned them and then printed a collection of all of those. I'm like, that's a really cool idea,
That is a really cool idea.
I'm thinking in
Yeah.
the next couple of years of actually finally putting together an art book of art from Silverline
Yeah.
done and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I know we mentioned Mitch Faust earlier. Mitch does that. He does his one every year. Yeah, I back his art books every year.
Well, he
Um,
puts out that much artwork every
Yes, he does. Yeah. It's not insane. He's a working artist. He's producing
it's
stuff.
it's insane because it's so much and it's so freaking good.
It is good. Yeah.
I got so much of his artwork sitting around here.
Yeah, the year he did, I guess it was 2 years ago. He did the mouse trading card for us, and when the book came out, I didn't see Mouse in there. And I'm like, dude, I'm hurt. I thought Mouse would be in the book. He goes, oh, it didn't make the cutout. The cutoff for this year. He goes, it'll be in next year's book. I'm like, oh, okay. And sure enough, there it was. He had it in the next issues or his next annual. But yeah, I've gotten Mitch's art books for several years now. He's been doing them several years, but I don't know. I didn't get all of them all the way back to the beginning, but I've got a whole bunch of them. So
sometimes he does a thing where if he has like some old stuff, some backstock sitting, he'll throw that out there as a tier.
Yeah. He and I've talked about different printing things as well. I love the let's see if I have any of those. I love those pins. Oh, here they are. Yeah, I love those pins that you get sometimes with his. They are
I think
gorgeous.
you showed me some of those
Yeah.
before.
And so these are just incredible, and I love these things. It looks really dusty on there, doesn't it?
The thing I find crazy is the fact that like the old Women of Marvel, Women of DC pieces he did years and years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They still float around on social media.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see somebody else posted I'm like, oh wow.
Kasisi Harris says, hey all, what's up, Kasisi? How you doing? Yeah, so let's see here. We got we got 18 minutes left, 4630, 125 backers.
$70, guys, just $70.
$70 to the next stretch goal.
Oh no, 62.
Yep, we just got another backer.
18 minutes.
Yep,
18 minutes. I'm glad you can do that kind of math. So $62, is that what you're telling me?
Yep, we're at 38.
All right, $62 to the final stretch goal we have listed up here. So if you've been on the fence, get off that fence and help us get goal. Help us to reach that stretch goal.
Waiting on these are awesome looking books.
Yeah,
they are.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe, John, if you start crying until somebody gets us that far, that might work? Like,
I think that may run people off. I'm this big. I start crying. Besides the fact that it may start smelling like wet dog over here because of the tears in my beard.
I remember a movie years ago. Somebody's trying to raise money by singing on the street, and he was like trying to sing and sing. And finally, somebody came up, was like, "I'll pay you $20 to please be quiet." Like, I think I was like, "Really?" So I don't know. It might work. It might just be like, if John is quiet, we will pay.
Oh wow!
I once saw one of my friends.
I've been gone for a while.
One of my friends once asked Neil Adams for a portfolio review at a convention, and Neil Adams said, "I will pay you $20 to go away."
No way! Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
I may have been.
He said, "Don't go and ask him for a review."
Look, old man.
Wow.
I just read somewhere that somebody paid somebody $1,000 to stop talking to them, like permanently, like a friend. And I'm sitting there going like, and apparently the guy took it or whatever. It was like a little post. It could have been a joke, but I'm just thinking, if you're paying $1,000 for him to stop talking, like, do you think he'd go for 2,000? Like, he's gonna talk to you even more now. Like, if you're gonna go for 1,000, I mean, come on. He's outside banging drums outside of her house and stuff.
I kind of questioned whether or not it was a decent friend.
I know.
So my question is, Pete, what did you do with that $20?
I was never silly enough to ask him for a review.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy.
Yeah, I wonder. I don't know that I've ever heard of anyone talk about a review from Neil Adams. I've heard reviews from a lot of different artists, but never one from Neil Adams.
Do you want to see a review? That might be kind of a Pandora's box you don't want to open with Neil. It's just,
Actually,
I don't know.
You can, I would actually to sit there and talk about Neil. I would talk science with Neil Adams first.
His expanding Earth theory.
Yeah.
Have you ever?
I would.
It's a hollow Earth theory, isn't it? Hollow Earth.
Is it Hollow Earth? No. It's expanding Earth. It may be hollow as well, but he created this. It's been a long time since I've seen it. He created this animation thing. Oh, we're at 47:35, y'all. 127 backers,
Wow.
14 minutes to go. 45. I can do that kind of math. That's $15 away from the next stretch goal. No, so he created this animation that explains.
We hit the stretch goal. We're at 47:35.
No, the stretch goal is 47:50.
Oh, yeah.
It was 47. I thought it was 4700. My bad.
Is it? I think it's 47:50. Let me go back and look. You could be right, but I thought it was 47:50. Because it was every 250. And I can't seem to.
My bad. I'm reading wrong. What did it be first time?
47:50. Yeah. So that's every 200. That's all right. So we're at 47:35 though, and I can do that kind of math. That's $15 away from the final stretch goal. So
is Pete still doing the hand delivery stuff in the UK? Because
he is.
You guys in the
reason, yes.
overseas, come on. You got a few more minutes to get on.
That's right.
$15 bucks, we can get Tommy to dance at the Daytona Beach.
Absolutely.
Yeah, remember we had an update. We called it Postal Pete.
Yes.
So back to Neil Adams here. I have to look up this link here. So Neil's got an art studio, or at least he had an advertising studio, and he had a lot of these guys that he put them to work. That's how a lot of the continuity comics came about. But he did the animation for the planet Earth, and one of the things that people talk about is Pangea and how did the continents get separated. Well, Neil's got an animated explanation. His theory is that the planet is expanding, and so it was much smaller, and all the continents were together. But as the planet expanded, that's what caused the continents to shift out. And they used an example of, I can't remember if it was an orange or a tomato or something like that, and showed how one of those expanded, and that showed the skin of the tomato. I think it was a tomato, the skin of a tomato, and then they showed what the planet Earth looks like and how similar they looked to one another because they expanded. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it.
As long as it's not flat Earth.
No, it wasn't flat Earth. So 47:65, you guys. We have somebody must have upped their pledge. We have just made.
In Daytona.
So we have just hit the final stretch goal, 47:65. 127 backers. We've still got 11 minutes to go, and I'm really tempted to just without looking to jump on the Roby idea that says if we can get 5,000 in the next 10 minutes, we'll do that sticker.
Yes.
We'll just
I will dance at Daytona.
I was gonna say, yeah. I don't know what the price is, and it really scares me. But
strangely enough, I got
127 stickers,
and the stickers are like maybe that big. I don't have them directly on hand, and I think it's like $25 for like 50 or 100.
This would have to be obviously only for those who get the physical tiers, right?
Because you got to mail it. You can put it in the package.
So
it's like 100 people, or Something
Yeah,
like that.
so you can't be a digital backer and get the sticker. But yeah, if we this will be our thing here. If we can get to 5,000 in the next 10 minutes, which is going to be a tough leap, we will get stickers. We'll get that sticker that Roby showed, and that will go to all of the physical backers. So if you want a sticker and you're a digital backer, bump that digital pledge up to a physical pledge and help us get to stickers.
Yeah. These are my 2 stickers I made. Now I actually gave these out
Those are
free
cool.
with my books. These are a promo item I gave with my books because they were so cheap. Now they're
Oh,
about that big, and I'm sure the one you're making, Roby, will be much bigger.
Yeah.
well,
But
I
those are like
would think
25 for like 50 or 100. And they're super cheap, but I can't remember if
wow.
sticker. No. Yeah, they're
I'm
super cheap
thinking
because I gave them out as bonuses. I didn't sell them.
So you'll have to send us that information where
Yeah,
you
I'll
printed
send
it. Yeah.
you. Let me go on and see. They probably still have my old order, and if I go on there and find the order, I will send you what I did. But yeah, because I thought about selling, like, no, just give them out to kids, and that's what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds so wrong. So give them the kids.
I know.
You
You want to
kids.
give all the stickers, especially the scratch and
Hello.
sniffs. Kids like scratch
Hello.
and sniff stickers.
Hello,
I
kid.
bet
You want
they
a
do.
sticker? Stephen Brown says,
Kid, you want
I
a sticker?
yeah, come here, kid.
I
First
tell
one's
your
free.
mom.
He says, I remember when you said there were 2 cat and mouse characters, one of the 90s and the ones of now. Would you consider them meeting at some point in their story? The answer to that is no.
Oh,
And as far as I'm concerned, the first volume of Cat and Mouse, those 2 characters, their arc ended in the final issue. So they're done. Yeah.
cutthroat world.
So, what's that?
It's a cutthroat world. Done.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no. No, as far as I'm concerned, those characters are done. If you read the first volume, and you don't have to have read the first volume to understand the second. But if you've read the first volume, you know how that story ended. And so as far as I'm concerned, that is the end of their story. Now, obviously, Demon and Kunoichi, those were characters that were also in that story back then, and they're still around. They're still part of the new Cat and Mouse's story. But the 2 characters that were Cat and Mouse in the 90s they're done. So no Marvel Resurrections here.
They're buried in a shallow grave behind this house somewhere.
Yeah. So speaking of, that actually kind of leads me as segues, as we've got 7 more minutes for the Kickstarter here. I did have us a topic to talk about, and we can still talk about it. I had us talking about reboots. And
Reboot Silverline Team Up.
no,
Already, we're gonna start.
it's kind of
Very
early
good.
for that, isn't it? Yeah, and it wasn't for a specific specific reboot. It wasn't aimed at a specific thing, but it's more like reboots. Are they good? They're bad? What works? What doesn't work? Comic reboots, film reboots, game reboots, just kind of reboots in general.
It's funny. They don't consider. Do you guys consider comic reboots? I mean, like when they redo a series or do a new series. Do you consider that a reboot? Is that mostly for movies?
I do, yeah.
Do you?
Like every couple of years, DC reboots.
Okay, yeah. I guess a New 52 would be a reboot.
Right, yeah. It's
Okay,
a
yeah,
reboot.
yeah. All right. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Reboot.
Crisis, Crisis was effectively a reboot. So
Didn't
yeah,
they, like, slaughter a bunch of people in that story?
yeah. That's when they took all of their that's when they took their multiverse and made it into a single verse.
Okay.
Going back to the
But,
multiverse now.
Yep.
Mhm.
So that's a good. Are they? Do you think they're
5 minutes to
following?
go.
You think they're following Marvel's jump to the because Marvel never really had the multiverse. It was always DC. Do you think they're following the trend at Marvel? Look, Marvel's doing it. We should do it again.
Strangely enough, I'd say the what if stories are kind of their version of the multiverse, but then again, that doesn't make sense because DC had the Elseworld stuff.
I think maybe they're just trying to find new avenues for stories. New characters that they've already exist. They have to create new characters. They're just not being utilized because for whatever reason. And this way they can do stuff. What's the Black Superman president? I can't remember what his name is. But that's obviously going to be pushed, and he's an alternate universe, isn't he? So alternate universe Superman. So that just frees up all the stuff they can push forward.
Yeah.
Not long now.
4 minutes.
Somebody else thought on reboots?
So no one got our super triple commission? Come on.
Let me go look. I don't think so. I think the answer to that was a no.
I'm not a fan of reboots, especially if they're not thought out very well.
You like the original boot?
If it's
That's when they come.
If it's a reboot just to do a reboot,
No.
just to sales are down, let's reboot it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it feels like they're trying to get new quick bump in sales. It's when they do it, you feel like they're doing it year after year. It just gets. I mean, I still buy the book because I like comic books and I like reading them.
Yeah.
But for new people, I think they think, oh well, where do I start then? Because the trade paperback that came out last month doesn't apply to what's going on now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Brett, can you get Tommy's art back up on the screen?
What do you need?
Go ahead.
I will say the X-Men reboot that Hickman did, it was good.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was a reboot with purpose.
I got a friend trying to just sent me a thing asking me for the link, and let me try to get him the link real quick. Somebody
found it because we're at 47.89.
128 backers. 3 minutes to go. Tell them they got to act fast, Tommy.
I'm trying to get him a link. Because it's not working. Shoot. I'm saying dirty words. Let's see.
Tell them to be fast.
Okay, I sent them the link. Let's see if it works.
Tell them they got 2 minutes. They got 120 seconds. Probably not even that now. Haley, I got other questions for you too. If you can't hang out, I'll holler at you tomorrow. Yeah, and then Tommy asked them unless they're listening. I'm asking them, why are they waiting until the last minute?
I do have questions about why people are doing this now. Yes.
That is this was Michael, if you're listening, and I know he's not because he's just getting back in from the convention over in Tampa. So he was like
counting down 111, 110, 109, 108 seconds now. So tell him he needs to act fast.
I did. I was like, go.
Go, Speed Racer. Go, Speed Racer.
He's probably, stop texting me because it keeps popping up. I got to do this.
Oh, that's right. I should stop. What was it? You got a minute? What do we got?
82 seconds, 81 seconds, 80 seconds, 79.
Wow. Seconds.
So Stephen Brown says, I might look for the 90s cat and mouse. Yeah, you can find most of those in the dollar boxes, in the cheap boxes. Some comic shops have the first couple of issues in their back issue boxes.
Oh, there we go. Less than a minute.
but for most of the run, you can get them in the cheap boxes. I don't know if you heard me earlier. I am working on an omnibus, and so once we get to do the upcoming Cat and Mouse issue, I'm hoping to have that done so that you
I
can
hope
pick
he
up the
backs.
omnibus. Yeah, I do too. You got 30 seconds.
Watch him tell me he doesn't even have a Kickstarter account. What?
Well,
Yeah.
the number shifted up. Somebody pledged because I
Yeah.
jumped.
It hasn't moved from 47.89.
Not since Tommy started talking about it. So 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6,
Oh.
5,
He hadn't
4,
wrote me back.
3,
Look at that.
2, 1. Woo!
Dun,
Getting
dun,
the
dun,
woo.
dun, 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 dun.
Da-da-da.
All right, Michael, if you're listening,
Hey.
you suck since you didn't get on the president.
He had 17 days to do this. Michael, is this Michael that I know?
Yes, yeah.
I'll be sure and give him a hard time then.
I know, we sure
Uh,
will.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Thinking, I'll just come by the office and get your copy. It's like, no, you're not.
Yeah. So thank everyone who backed all 128 backers. I just got a message that popped up. It said, "You did it. You and 128 backers brought this project to life."
All right, he already got it. So
Oh,
yeah,
good.
so
Good,
he was
good,
one of
good.
the earlier was before it ended.
Oh, okay. Good deal.
Yeah. All right.
All right. So we take back all those bad things we said.
We love you, Michael.
Yeah. So thank you everyone who backed and pledged and shared. Those of you who couldn't back, but you shared as well. Thank you all for that. Of course, the now comes the behind the scenes part. Kickstarter is going to spend a week, I think, collecting up the funds from you. Then in about 2 weeks' time, they will get the funds to me. In that 2 weeks' time, what I will do is put together the survey for all of the backers, and I will send you the surveys and ask for some information. Please make sure you do those surveys when you get them, because part of what I need is I want the name that you want to go in the on the thank you page. And if you don't do that, I default to the name that Kickstarter has. And so make
Make it
sure
more
you get
frightening, Roland. You got to say, if you don't give me your name, I will make one up.
That's
I'll
right.
use, if you don't give me your name, I'll just use your email address.
There you go, even better.
And so yeah, and then I'll put that together, and then as we have said numerous times, these books are done. So I will spend that time prepping that and getting the files ready, and so that as soon as I get the money from Kickstarter, I can place my order with Kablam. And then Kablam will spend a couple of weeks and get that printed out. And as soon as we get it, we will start shipping. So there's no reason that we won't. There's no reason that unless something just really weird happens, that we won't make September, which is what we said. Which is what the Kickstarter says will be in September. So I think we did say that if you got a Pete commission, might be a little bit longer. That might possibly be October, but shouldn't be. We're just kind of, as I heard Russ, what's his last name? Russ talking this morning. Apparently, postal from England over to here is actually pretty decent. So,
It's not too bad.
yeah. So as soon as we get those commissions done, then we can get them here and out to you. So. So again, thank you everybody for your support and for backing, and we are excited to get these books in your hands, because we are super confident that you are going to like them, and that when you get to the last page, you're going to say, "Cool, when's the next one?" And and I can tell you that that we are Silverline Team Up. We're already working on the next one. not working on Bad 2 just yet, but I did put something in Haley's hands this morning. I think it was this morning, maybe it was yesterday. That is Bad related, and so we are still moving forward with that as well. So never fear, we are continuing to move forward with these books so that you'll get your story. All right, let's go back to Reboot. Brett, I still don't see Tommy up on the screen, dude. Unless somebody else wants to stream their art. Roby, you want to?
I thought I shared it. Is it not being shared? Have I messed something up?
It's not on YouTube, so.
I didn't prep anything, but
Okay.
wanted to say that sticker, 4 inches, $100 for 100.
I may ask you for that stuff, Roby.
That's not bad.
That
is not bad.
Stream has ended. Cricket noise. That was Tommy's thing. So
I'm trying to get it to show again. There it goes. Is it not working?
Oh, well, I got to, every time you click off, I have to re-click watch stream. So yeah, no, I see it there. All right, okay. Brett, get that back on the stream for us, please, sir. You have to click watch stream. You should see a little, like it looks like a person. Looks like an extra person in the chat. So you should see watch stream, and you'll be able to see it. Okay, so reboots, good, bad. Highlander, going to be a reboot here. Anybody excited for that? Or?
The only reason I'm not excited for that is because Clancy Brown, the guy who played the Kurgan, like nailed that role.
Yes,
and I just can't see anyone else playing that role.
Yeah.
The Strange Death guy plays Scott McCloud. The other ones, I don't care. It's just Clancy Brown. No one else can play the Kurgan. If they do a new bad guy, fine. But no one can take that role. That's like to me when they tried to reboot the Escape from LA, Escape from New York. It's like no one else can play Snake Plissken but Kurt Russell. It just doesn't work. So certain character, when they reboot character-centric movies, that's where I think things fall apart.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the whole Superman thing? Because me personally, I think Christopher Reeves is Superman. Nobody else. I don't think anybody else really pulls it off as well.
I think they would have, but I mean, if you're gonna do Superman, I guess you got to find Christopher Reeve. Fortunately, is not with us anymore, so you got to find somebody else. I didn't think Tim Roth? I thought he looked okay as a kind of a Christopher Reeves lookalike.
No.
So
no.
He couldn't pull off the Clark Kent.
What?
He couldn't pull off Clark Kent. That's the thing that was special about Christopher Reeves.
Oh, you mean Brandon Roth?
Oh, is that his name? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought
it was a Roth something. So.
Yeah, I thought he was pretty good.
There was a visible change between the Clark Kent and Superman when Christopher Reeves.
But I think a little bit of the difference what you're talking about is when you have somebody play a fictional character who's already been established in another art form, that's different than a character like Kurt Russell who established that character in the movie. I mean, your first appearance as like Snake Plissken is Kurt Russell. Now, if Snake Plissken was a comic book character and somebody played him, then I think more people were open to being multiple interpretations of that character. But I sometimes think that if a character is created on screen and that actor is known for that character, it's much, much harder to change that up.
So are you saying that you think that might be why something like James Bond works?
Right, because it was a book originally.
Right.
And I think sometimes that's what it works. Because certain characters are like, it's like having somebody play Ash from Evil Dead. I mean,
so we would never get Bruce Campbell. We would never get another Indiana Jones. It always has to be Harrison Ford.
I would think, strange enough, I would say you can give it a shot, but I think that's going to fail miserably with that one.
Maybe it's time to let that be done.
I'm not saying they couldn't try it. I just don't think that's going to succeed.
Yeah, I don't either. I think once it's done, it should be done.
Well, look when they got that Han Solo movie, when they got the young guy to play Han Solo, everyone was like, "Yeah, that's not Harrison Ford," because he
Right.
made
It's
that
still a good
character.
Yeah.
movie.
It's a psychological thing. It's just much harder, I
It's still a
think.
good movie, and he played
I-
it good, and he was decent for a young stand-in.
Well, I'm not saying it wasn't a good movie or not. I'm just saying people didn't buy him because I mean, I think when you make characters on screen, you also take in acting mannerisms that make that character. Harrison Ford
Right.
has definite specific acting mannerisms
I
that
don't,
make
I don't know. I don't know
Han
if that's
Solo
a
an
good
Indiana
example
Jones.
because there was so much hate from the toxic fans on that movie. I don't know if you could really use that as a good example because 90% of what we heard bad about that movie came from the toxic fan base.
You mean
Yeah.
the Han Solo movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't see that as a good example because it was really all the whiny basement dwellers that were talking about how that's not my Han Solo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear
I
you,
It's
but
still,
I
mean,
actually
regardless,
like the movie.
yeah, it's still box office wise, it did not do well. Whether or not
No,
the
it
movie is
didn't.
good, it didn't do well.
well,
So I don't.
and I hear what you're saying, but I would offer the counterpoint of it doesn't matter what you think of the whiny basement complainers or whatever. They are a legitimate part of the fan base,
Yeah, it's
and
true.
you know, you can call them names because they disagree with you, but they still are a valid part of the fan base, right or wrong,
Here's the thing with that though. If you're going to be part of the fan base, give it a chance before you shoot it down. Don't sit there and before it even comes out, you're already trying to bury it 12 feet under.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
but it could. I mean, I don't. I
I
can
think we see
understand
that
that.
with
That movie was shot down before it even had a chance, before it even came out of the box office.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like the dude that likes all the movies that fail. So but I, the things that I do, but
I don't pay attention
whether or
to
not they
what
shoot it
critics say.
down, that's just basic marketing. I mean, you could ask the fans to give it a shot, but if the audience isn't buying what you're selling, that's just not.
Yeah.
I mean, you can spin it as much way as you want. They're just if they're not handing over their money, the movie's not making a profit.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and again, ultimately, it's part of the fan base, and so you have to decide: are you going to listen to a certain segment? Are you going to listen to everybody? Are you going to try to make everybody happy? Are you going to, which we all know that's impossible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's
You're not gonna-
impossible to make everyone happy, but you do have like certain threshold where you piss everybody off by doing it so
Yeah.
poorly, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Nobody's going to see this one.
I was surprised that the Solo movie did bad. I didn't think it was that. It was not my. I like the Rogue One, the side
Yeah, Rogue
story.
One was pretty fun.
That was probably
just-
my favorite of the two, but I didn't think the Han Solo one was like disastrous.
Han Solo, that's the one that had Woody Harrelson in it, wasn't it?
I think so yeah, didn't he play a character in
It
that?
did.
Yeah.
It did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't
It felt
like that
less
movie too
like a
much.
big movie though. You know, it's like every
Yeah.
Star Wars felt epic, and then that felt
Yeah.
like, oh well, this is just a flick for you. Have fun.
Right.
People
Yeah.
have argued that
Yeah.
because of technology, they're able to put out Star Wars movies so fast when they were doing them that they didn't feel as special when they put them out every few years, like 4 or 5 years. So that also I think
Yeah.
goes with the epicness you're talking about.
Huh, interesting. Yeah. I didn't, I didn't hate the movie. I didn't love the movie, but again, I'm not one of what you would call a big Star Wars fan. I like Star Wars, but I didn't like the new movies, the Jar Jar Binks trilogy. I didn't like any of those.
And your
I thought
Christmas list just keeps growing, dude.
I thought yeah, I thought there were some nice, scenes in it, and things like that. I
Yeah.
thought Liam Neeson obviously is just excellent, and
Yeah.
who's the other guy?
Ewan McGregor.
The guy who McGregor, a guy who played Obi-Wan. Yeah, I mean those guys are fantastic, obviously, right? But I wasn't really moved by the movies themselves. So are those reboots?
I
What
don't
is a
really
reboot?
know. I would say because I do know that he had all of those written when he originally wrote Star Wars.
Really?
Like those were written in the 70s. Yeah, my friend Tom actually showed me the scripts. You can buy books of these original scripts.
Wow. I
Yeah,
didn't
and
know
so
that.
he started making 4 because he felt that was the most self-contained of the stories. So like if it crashes and burns, then no big loss. But
Yeah.
parts 1, 2, 3, because I remember he let me read the script, and the end of number 3 where they fight in the lava planet, I knew that was coming, and when they actually did it in the third movie, I'm like, that's just like the script I read. So yeah, you can go
Wow.
back and read these things because he's originally called Luke Starkiller. Han Solo was a green lizard, I think.
A green lizard?
Yeah, something like that. Like Yoda was supposed to be like 9 feet tall. Like he was. It was all these. Yeah, you can go back.
Really? And so he ends up being a little short thing.
Yeah, yeah. It was like they
That's
couldn't
interesting.
figure out how to do it, the puppetry at the time, because
Yeah.
I mean people don't grow 9 feet, so
Right.
they couldn't figure out how to do it. The Dark Horse actually did put out a comic based on the original script. Yeah.
Yeah.
The original trilogy, not the prequels, but yeah, I did read it where like they were supposed to fight in the lava planet. Yeah, it's really so that stuff was written in the 70s. So when he came back and did the prequels, I think sometimes that's why they didn't do as well because they were written in the 70s. So I don't know if he came back and rewrote them for like modern times in the 90s. He just kind of made what he wrote, and you definitely see a lot of kind of sort of 70s sci-fi tropes in those movies. Like a lot of the Flash Gordon. That's when I know he was very inspired by Flash Gordon, and you really see it in the prequels, like with the spaceships, everything. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
and
that's
you don't
all.
like the prequels, Roland.
I don't.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. But it's weird. So yeah, they were
I
to
love Flash
reboot.
Gordon though.
He eventually he said, "I'm just I can finish what I started. That's it." I think that's after when he made those 3 and had all 6 movies done. I think that's why he sold it.
Yeah, he was
Because
done.
as far as he was concerned, he just had told his story.
Yeah.
But he always did say that the story is supposed to be about the rise and fall of Darth Vader. And the thing that irritated him about doing the original trilogy was so focused on Luke that it was not supposed to be that. It was supposed to be about the redemption of a good person, Darth Vader. So that was supposed to be a through line. And he didn't get that through the original trilogy. So he did the prequels to focus on that. That's what I remember in an
Interesting.
interview him saying. So yeah.
That's interesting
I don't
because
think it
Luke.
counts as a reboot either. They're just a continuation or elaborations on the original story. I think it's a reboot if you just do the same thing with
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
new actors.
Yeah.
Not just the same thing, but change it significantly somewhere.
Yeah.
And this, I think I always got the sense they started doing reboots in Hollywood because they would look. I remember it being like the visual effects are really old. So with all this new computer technology, we could redo it and make the visual effects like snazzier.
But that's
They
just
just
a
assume
remake,
like we
though.
can update it. What?
That's more like a remake, though, not a reboot.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a remake and a reboot then? What do y'all think that is?
I think they're trying to change the story underneath, the mythos of it or some significant storytelling part of it.
Yeah, there's been a few that have done it. I remember they
A reboot, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where remake, you're just remaking the original story.
You're just trying to update it, refreshing it, or.
Would you consider
all these Spider-Man movies? What are they? Oh, bless you. What about all the Spider-Man movies? Are they reboots or remakes? Because they're even.
Both. they're remake boots.
Well, I'd say like when we were at Malibu and doing the Marvel universe there, all of the books, Spider-Man was a quarter of the books.
Yeah.
It's like Spider-Man this, Spider-Man that. There's so many different versions of them. Can't even keep track, really.
Yeah.
I
Well, you
think she's
can't,
onto
but
something here.
I just mean there's so many versions to go with that. I think it gives you a lot to work with.
I think
Yeah.
she's right. I think superheroes are when she was talking about not really reboots. I think she's absolutely right on the Spider-Man thing, because you're not remaking, like retelling a story, like rebooting the story, changing it. You're just choosing another Spider-Man story out of how many hundreds of Spider-Man stories and adapting
Right.
it on screen.
Yeah.
So I'd almost say in a weird way, it's almost a continuation in a
Yeah.
weird way than a reboot.
Yeah.
That
I
that's a
would
little
kind of go with that. And
yeah,
Fruitbat36 says for the Spider-Man movies, they're just doing the same thing the comics do, which is it's kind of what you
yeah.
just said. Yeah. And then he says a reboot carries the essence but goes on a new tangent. So I think that's and then Cassisi Harris says, "What are your thoughts on the new Dune movie? Anybody got thoughts on the new Dune?
It'll look awesome.
I'm
It looks
excited to
awesome.
see it. It looks
Do
good.
we? Well, I guess here's one of the questions, right? It's a reboot now. Maybe this is the same thing that we all ask. Do we need a new Dune movie? I mean,
Yes.
I've always heard
I
Dune
think
is so
so.
complex.
When was
The
the
more
last,
I've
when was the
learned, I
last
haven't
Dune
read the
film out?
books, but there
What's
I
that?
saw. So go
what was
ahead.
the question?
When was the last Dune film out?
You know what? I don't know the answer to that, but I'm gonna
There's
Google
a
it.
there's a whole few generations that don't know anything about Dune, so
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
and I
That's
think
why
that's
like they've
it
done one
needs
every
to be
year
made.
for the last 3 years.
well, and I think that's probably the really what Pete just said is at the root of all reboots. Is the idea that there's a whole generation that doesn't know about this thing, or they might know about it, but no one was there, or there's a whole generation that was not there to. I remember going to see Dune on the theater, and they handed out a glossary to you when you walked in. They literally handed you a sheet of paper,
Kind of need it.
said, "Here's the glossary." Right now, I was
You still got that? That may actually be worth something now.
I don't still have that. I threw it away probably after the
Shame.
movie.
Shame.
You're not a real fan.
You're not a real. Yeah, that's right.
Let's see.
Well, Dune is one of those sci-fi books because like
and I read the book.
Fahrenheit.
The
what you
book
call
for all of them.
the book, the Dune book.
Yes,
It's
I read
sci-fi book.
the set of them when I was a teenager.
Wow,
They're
cool.
they're considered some of the best sci-fi fiction out there, but they don't make for some strange reason you don't see them in schools.
They're also really big.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Well,
And
this
I
is
think
very
that scares
engaging.
readers away.
They're
This
very
would
It's hard
actually
pressed to
this-
get a kid to read that unless they're really into it.
Yeah.
Yes,
This new movie is actually the third attempt at Dune,
I think so. Yeah.
because there was a TV series they did
Mhm.
in the early 2000s that I don't know. I always thought Dune would work better as a TV series just because of how dense the history and lore is.
There's just too much in it.
Yeah, there was just so
Yeah.
much in his world building that I could
So-
see.
84 was the movie,
Mhm.
and 2000 was the television miniseries.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so
High
you're
time.
you're talking 20 years now, and we're gonna see, well,
I never
so
knew there was a TV series. I don't think they got here.
you're probably
Yeah,
okay
maybe.
not knowing it, not being, because I think we watched some of that and just went bleh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't get into it.
Yeah.
The TV one.
Now I enjoyed the 1984 movie. I
Yeah.
enjoyed that.
Yeah.
But again, I had read the book, and so I was already a fan of the book, and so I was, I was, it wasn't all completely foreign to me. Dune won the let's see here. It won the Nebula Award for the Best Novel in '65, and in 1966 it won the Hugo Award. So you're looking 20 years later is when the first film come out, and then 84, 94, 15 years later, then had the TV series, and so now 20 years later they're doing a new film. So I kind of go back to what Pete said. I think a lot of what we see in reboots is the idea that we're going to do this because there's a whole generation that is not aware of this and they haven't seen this, and we want to introduce this property to them because they're unaware of it.
And it has to be done in the technology that they make movies now. Otherwise, people
Right.
wouldn't watch them. You think?
Right. Yeah, I do. Well, and it's funny because you guys know Highlander is one of my favorite movies.
I thought that was
But
Flash Gordon.
well, I love Flash Gordon too. So, but
they
here's
both have Queen soundtracks.
but they do. It's
Is
very
that your
observant.
Achilles heel, Roland?
That is very observant of you, Aaron. So here's the thing I was going to say though is that you know, as a dad, I made it a point of mine to make sure that I watch certain films with my kids, right? And so there came a point in time where I said, okay, it's time for you to watch Highlander. And it had been several years since I had seen it. And I remember sitting down to watch it thinking, you know, those special effects don't look as good as I remember them looking, right?
Your brain has blurred it all together to make it look like something good.
Yeah, I still like the movie. Don't get me wrong, but there were things that happened. I'm like, I remember that looking much cooler than it actually looks
That's
now, right?
Mhm.
And I can still, of course, quote most of the movie, which I have to be real careful because you don't want to do that during the movie with someone's first time watching, quoting all the movies. Let's see here. Kasisi says, I think he must be talking about Dune here. The first one wasn't very true to the
Dune.
book. Yeah. He said the characters in the 1984 movie are a far cry from the characters in the book. Paul's mother, Lady Jessica, was a beast. And then because the characters have such potential to be different, stronger, I think it would qualify for a reboot. As a reboot, yeah. Yeah, and I think that's certainly one of the things we always certainly a discussion for adaptations, right? Is we're talking about a property that is an adaptation of a novel. And then Fruitbat asked, was Dune competing with Isaac Asimov's Foundation series? So he's got to be talking about those
I don't know about that.
those awards, the Nebula and the Hugo.
Yeah.
60, I don't know the answer to that. That's probably the case because I think Foundation was a 60 series. Also a very good series if you haven't read that. One of my Foundations is one of my favorites. Asimov is one of my personal favorites as well. I love the Foundation series and the robot novels. I love those.
So cool.
Yeah. Yeah, good. In fact, I actually just a few years ago I said I need to reread those, and I've been rereading all the robot novels because
Nice.
they're just good books, and they read faster than I remember them reading. I read them and I'm like, man, I'm done already. I don't remember them reading that quickly when I read them, initially, but they're still good.
Well, he has a kind of science-heavy way of talking.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think when you get older, it's easier to pick up where he's going.
It's easier to digest some of it, I think, maybe.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you read those, Roby?
My dad was a sci-fi lover, and he had a shelf of books that I read from when I was as old as I could read.
Nice.
And so it was really great. I had, 60s books. And, Asimov was a big, big influence, I think.
Yeah,
I
cool.
loved it.
Yeah, me too. I'm a big Asimov fan.
Mhm.
But I'm also, when it comes to science fiction, I'm a big fan of science fiction of the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. I kind of stopped liking a lot of new science fiction around the 70s. I'd read it and I'd just go, meh, I don't really care for this. Then I would always kind of gravitate back to And even stuff that I wasn't familiar with, from the 1930s, 40s, and 50s.
You didn't
So,
like the Arthur C. Clarke books?
I tried to read what was the big one he did?
Rendezvous with Rama.
Yeah, I just that one, and there's another writer that a friend of mine recommended, and I tried to. It was David Brin. I tried to read some David Brin, and I'm like,
Well, 2001 had a whole series. That was cool.
Oh, that's right, Arthur. Yeah, Arthur
Odyssey
C.
stuff.
Clarke.
Cool.
Yeah.
Have you read any Ian M. Banks?
You know what?
Mhm.
I want to say yes.
Got loads.
But I was going to say because that's not that's an older author too, right? That's somebody from
He's
the
dead now, yeah, but he's not.
Yeah, somebody from the 50s as well. Man, you know what? I want to say yes, but I cannot think of anything that I might have read. But I want to say my answer is yes, but I don't know the answer to that for sure.
Mhm.
I read a lot of, I have a lot of these collected short stories. And so there's a lot of that's how I will discover writers. I'll be reading an Isaac Asimov's collected stories from the 1930s or something, and I'm like,
Yeah,
that was pretty good. Who was that?
I read Starship Troopers, which was really
yes.
interesting and so different when they made the movies. So different.
Oh, man, those are completely
day and night.
Yeah, those are two completely different books. I'm trying to get my son to read that now. Looks like he's read about 50 pages and stopped, and I'm like,
Oh, that's a good book.
It is a good book. Yeah, it is a good book. It's another one of my favorites. I read some other Heinlein as well. But I think Starship Troopers is still probably the best one. I got
That
some
was a
Larry.
book. I was going to say that was a book that Mitch and
Mitch
Mitch
Berg.
Berg and Barry wanted me to read really bad, so I read it, and Mitch, got the Dark Horse comic, and it's one of the things that made Mitch want to quit comics when he got that script to draw that comic. He was so upset because he loved that book so much, and then he got that script, and he goes, "This is not even the same story."
Can't relate.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah.
Gotta take off, guys, but it's been a pleasure talking with you. I
Okay,
got
man.
somebody coming over, so
Yeah.
congrats everyone on the Kickstarter.
Thank you.
I'm afraid I'm the same. It's my time limit here.
Hey, talk to you later.
Yeah. All right.
But
See you, Aaron.
bye, and thank you for.
Well, Roby, you want to? I did. Aaron bailed before I got to offer him. Do you want to tell people where they can find you?
Yes, please come to Roby Conroy and on Instagram and on Facebook, and thank everybody who backed our project because it means the world to me. I put so much effort into it, as did everyone here.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
It's a good-looking book. They're going to be happy, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
All right, Roby. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. So yeah, I guess we probably ought to go ahead and wrap this up. I didn't realize it was 10 o'clock. See, this is what happens. We get to talking fun, geeky stuff, and the time just flies. So I guess we'll go around the clock and tell folks where they can find us. So John, we'll just start with you. You're at the top of my clock here.
You there?
All right. Well,
John's
you
gone,
can find me all over the interwebs, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Been a minute since I've had to do this. Patreon.
You'll find
who
me
knows where
sitting at
else
this
by the end of this all. TikTok, I post artwork on TikTok.
I don't see
I'm probably
John.
gonna have some.
You don't see John? He's here. Can you hear him?
Still here, John. Everyone's
I'm
just
here.
sort of sat there, like, responding to stuff that I can't see. He's gone.
Oh,
My screen.
can you not hear him either?
No.
Oh, wow. Okay, so Brett's saying that he thinks Discord is having problems. So I can see and hear John just fine. So so John,
you can find me. You can find me there.
okay.
Oh yeah.
Sounds good.
Sorry, and I'm gonna be at Free Comic Book Day. I will be at 901 Comics here in Memphis.
Cool. Excellent. Very good. They are a one-time backer of one of our Kickstarters. We got to get them involved in our Kickstarters again. They backed the very first issue of Cat and Mouse from the retailer level, and so we got to get them. We got to get them back in because there's a couple of you guys up there in that area. So, all right, sounds good. Haley, what about you? Where can folks find you on the interwebs?
You can find me on Instagram at Haley Martin Art. Haley is spelled Haley. And you can read my superhero comic Heroic Shenanigans at heroicshenanigans.com. It's also on Webtoons. Yep, that
Tommy's good.
one.
There it is. Yeah.
Yep, and because we hit those stretch goals, everyone who backed the Kickstarter will get a PDF of Volume 1. That's the first 4 chapters, so hope you all enjoy that.
That's right. Yep. So very cool. Pete, what about you? Where can folks find you on the interwebs?
You can just Google Peter Clinton Art, and you'll find me all over. Really, Instagram, Facebook, website, Twitter, TikTok.
Did you ever get that domain, dude?
Oh, I'm sure I'll get around to it. I don't think I was going to steal it.
Oh, what domain? Hold on, wait. Do I know about this?
John's like, wait, I'm taking notes. Tommy, what about you? Where can folks find you on the interwebs?
Just go to infernostudios.com. You can find some links to various places, or just go on the Google and type in Florimonte, Florimonte. And if you see a retired Navy captain, that's my father. That's not me. So, no, yeah, just like Haley said, we got to the second stretch goal. So this is the actual book that you guys are going to be getting the PDF of. It's the Zomboid Zero issue. It's the 16 pages of the intro to how all of the Kid Hero stuff works. So that's going to be fun.
Nice.
Yep.
And you have all heard me say multiple times when Tommy talks a bit about this is that I am a fan of Zomboid. So you're all going to get to see what I have been talking about now.
Well, there I am. Ha 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 ha.
Where's the mullet?
There's no mullet. I'm gonna put your character.
He used to have a mullet. I gotta find pictures of Tommy with a
we
mullet.
all had a mullet.
I've got some great pictures, John. Listen, you need to go to my Facebook page and look under my albums called Conventions.
No, don't.
There's some.
He's going right now. Look at you. Thanks.
Pictures of Tommy there. You can find me on the interwebs as well, on Facebook, Twitter, all those places. Look for Rollin' Man. You can find me at Man Rollin' on Twitter. Mostly you'll find us all kind of hanging out here on the Silver Line. Don't forget, guys, we've got a Tuesday stream that starts at 8 p.m. Pacific time, which is about, I think it's 11 p.m. here. It's really late. So for all of you on the West Coast, tune in and you get to hear Tim TK, Aaron, and Quentin. These are the guys that hold down our West Coast Tuesday. I think they settled on that Tuesday Silverline stream for the Tuesday show. And then Wednesday Wham back here 8 p.m. On Wednesday, we'll have the Whammers here, of which Haley is usually a part of that, but she joined us tonight to wrap up the Kickstarter. And shout out to Daytona Beach Comic Con, our sponsor, Daytona Beach, September 18th and 19th. Make your plans to be there. It is a legit Comic Con, and there's going to be about 10 of us there. And I don't have a copy in my hand, but this is a great time to get your Silverline signature book and get started getting collecting the signatures of your.
Oh, shut up, John.
I can't hear John.
All right, wait till I see you in a couple of weeks. There, we're gonna make fun of people. Get it right. I'm leaving. I'm gone. Bye. Turning this off.
All right. Another shout out to the fill-in producer today, Brett.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Brett.
buddy. for keeping us moving and even during our technical difficulty here. And a shout out to Carlos at New Armor Media. We wish he and his family well, and hopefully they'll be back to positive, and Carlos will be able to rejoin us on Wednesday. We hope that. So until then, you guys remember, thank you so much. You know what happens now. So you guys remember.
Make mine
Yeah.
Indeed.
All right, Brett.
Y'all stay safe out there.